$50,000 in 3 years. That is the median down payment a first-time American homebuyer in their 30s actually puts down on a house. $50,000 and change. And almost nobody saves it on schedule. The average renter household in this country saves about $4,000 a year. At that pace, $50,000 takes 12 and a half years. Most people don't have 12 years. They have 3, sometimes less. Their lease is up. The kid is coming. The apartment they want will be gone by year 2. This video is the 3-year version of the math. 3 accounts, 1 automatic transfer. 4 mistakes that quietly cost most people the deadline. And 1 detail nobody tells you up front, because the worst place on earth to park a down payment fund is the stock market. Stay with me. The setup takes about an hour. The math is going to feel impossible right up until the moment it isn't. Start with the arithmetic. $50,000 divided over 36 months comes out to $1,389 a month, flat. That's the worst case number, what it takes if you put the money under your mattress. Move that same number into a high-yield savings account at 4% annual interest, and the math gets easier. About $1,300 a month, compounded monthly for 3 years, also lands at $50,000. That's the first lever. Anyone who tries to save $50,000 in a brick-and-mortar savings account at 0.01% is leaving roughly $3,500 on the table over the 3-year window. $1,300 a month sounds insane until you realize where it's coming from. This is not find another $1,300 in a budget that's already maxed. This is redirect $1,300 you are already spending into a place where it stops being spending. Here's the system that does it. 3 accounts, 3 buckets. Each has 1 job. None of them can talk to the others. Bucket 1 is the down payment account, a high-yield savings account at a separate bank from your everyday checking. Marcus, Ally, SoFi, Wealthfront, Discover. All of them are paying roughly 4 to 4.5% right now. No fees, no minimum, fully FDIC insured. It has to be a separate bank. Money in everyday checking gets spent because it's 1 tap away. Money in a different bank, with a different login, with a 2-day transfer delay, does not get spent. Out of sight, out of reach. Bucket 2 is the emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of basic living expenses, also in a separate high-yield savings account, also untouchable. This is the bucket that takes the hit when the car needs a transmission or a tooth needs a crown. The down payment bucket never gets touched for any reason that is not, I am buying a house this week. Bucket 3 is your everyday checking. This is the only one allowed to feed your lifestyle. Rent, bills, groceries, gas, restaurants. Whatever lands here is what you live on. Whatever stays here at the end of the month is not extra. It's a sign your budget can absorb a bigger transfer to bucket 1. The buckets are the system. The auto transfer is the engine. The day your paycheck lands, an automatic transfer fires, say $650 bi-weekly, straight into bucket 1. You make the decision once. The transfer runs in the background for 36 months while you live your life. Now the question almost everyone asks at this point, why not just put the money in the stock market and let it grow faster? Because the stock market regularly loses 30 to 40% of its value over short windows. 2001, 2008, 2020, 2022. None of those drops are predictable. Each one took years to recover. Put your down payment in stocks in year 1, watch the market fall 35% in year 3, and you do not have a house. You have an excuse. The down payment fund has to be in something that does not lose value on the timeline you actually need it. For 3 years or less, the right vehicles are high-yield savings, U.S. Treasury bills, and money market funds. T-bills pay around 3.5%, are backed by the federal government, and you can buy them directly at treasurydirect.gov. Money market funds at Fidelity, Vanguard, and Schwab pay similar rates with same-day liquidity. Pick whichever one you'll actually maintain. Okay, now the hard part. Where does the $1,300 a month actually come from? 3 lanes. Lane 1 is the lifestyle audit. Sit down with 3 months of credit card statements, line by line, and circle every subscription, delivery habit, and small recurring expense.
The typical American household watching this can find between $400 and $600 a month of stuff they don't actually care about. Overlapping streaming, app subscriptions auto-renewing on cards they forgot about, delivery surcharges on food that costs $8 at pickup and $27 at the door, 3 gyms when they use 1. The point isn't to live like a monk. The point is, nobody who finds $400 of pure waste actually misses it after 30 days. Lane 2 is windfalls. Every tax refund, every annual bonus, every birthday gift, every side gig deposit goes directly into bucket 1, 100%. The average American federal tax refund is about $3,000. 3 years of refunds is $9,000, 18% of the goal, with no lifestyle change at all. Lane 3 is income amplification. A small raise, a weekend side income, a job switch that pays 10% more.
The trick? 100% of any new dollar earned during these 3 years gets routed to bucket 1 before you ever see it. Money that never reaches checking can't get spent. Add the 3 lanes. Lifestyle audit at $500 a month, windfalls averaging $300 a month equivalent, and any income amplification on top. That's the $1,300 a month, without selling a kidney. Now, the 4 mistakes that cost people the deadline. Mistake 1, keeping it in checking. $1,000 drift somewhere, and I'll just borrow from the bucket this once. A vacation that becomes a savings emergency. The bucket gets raided by July. By month 36, the house fund is at $12,000 and the deadline is gone. The HYSA at a different bank is the entire defense. Mistake 2. Using a regular savings account at 0.01% APY at the same bank as your checking.
Over 3 years, the gap between a 4% HYSA and a 0.01% savings account on the same monthly contribution is around $3,300 in lost interest. That is the difference between hitting $50,000 and missing it. Mistake 3. Skimming from bucket 1 for real emergencies. The car breaks, the pet needs surgery, the friend's wedding is in Italy. These are exactly what bucket 2 exists for. The day bucket 1 starts paying for emergencies is the day the timeline is dead. Bucket 1 is touched once on closing day. Mistake 4. Trying to out-earn the timeline in stocks or crypto. If I get 15% instead of 4, I get there in 26 months. The same math also gets you to year 2 with the market down 20%, the bucket at $35,000 instead of $45,000, and the timeline extended 2 more years to recover. Long-term investing happens in IRAs and 401ks. Short-term saving for a known purchase happens in cash equivalents.
They are not the same money. 3 accounts, 1 automatic transfer, 3 years. The number, $50,000, does not move. Inflation might nudge it up. Home prices might nudge it up faster. But the structure of the math doesn't change. You either set up the system or you don't. Most people won't. Not because the math is wrong. Not because they don't earn enough. Because the buckets feel like overkill. The audit feels like deprivation. And the auto transfer feels like locking yourself into a contract with a version of yourself who hasn't shown up yet. That version of yourself does show up. In 36 months. At a closing table. With a pen and a set of keys. And a check for $50,000 you're about to put down on a house. You build that person tonight, on a couch, by opening 3 accounts.
The HYSA wall. Pick one, sign up tonight. 3 buckets locked, auto transfer on. The future is just a few statements away. Tonight is a good night to open 3 accounts.